Welcome to Lesson 113 of Saxon Maths Course 2. In this lesson we're going to talk about pyramids, cones, and spheres. We're going to use formulas to find the volume of a pyramid, also a cone, and also a sphere. So let's go ahead, let's get after this, see what's up. You can have a new formula to memorize. Well, maybe a couple. Okay, so we got no new vocabulary. So here we see that a pyramid is a geometrical solid that has three or more triangle faces and a base that's a polygon. All of these are pyramids. Well, we know that the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 the volume of a prism that has the same base and height. And as you know, when we calculate the volume of a prism, we do area of the base times the height. So when we're doing a pyramid, once we've got that, then we just divide it by 3. So when we're dealing with a pyramid instead of a cylinder like this, once we've got this here and this, then we're going to divide it all by 3 because it only takes up 1/3. Okay, so here on the right we have a cube that is 6 centimeters on each of its sides, and inside that cube we have a pyramid. So let's look at both of these. So we want to find the volume of the cube. To find the volume of the cube, we know we just times the volume of the base, which is 6 times 6 is 36, and we times it by the height, which is 6. So we've got 36 times 6, and we get 216 centimeters cubed. That's the volume of the cube. Now, to get the volume of the pyramid, we just divide all of that, the 216, we just divide that by 3, and we get 72 centimeters cubed. Okay, all right. So the first formula we have that you've got to memorize for your end of year testing is that the volume of a cone is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So let's look at this one right here, see if we can calculate this. Let's find the volume of this circular cone. So go ahead, pause the video, see if you can get your answer and see what you come up with. Okay, so all right, let's look at this. So the area of the base is, you got to calculate that first, and so we're going to take, that's going to be, the area of the base is going to be pi times radius squared. So our diameter is 20, so our radius is going to be 10. So 10 squared equals 100. 100 times pi equals 314, and then we're going to times that by 30, which is our height, and we get 9420. Once we do that, our last step is right here. We got to divide by the 3. You got to remember to divide by 3. Just like with triangles, we divide by 2. With cones, we divide by 3, and we get our answers 3,140 centimeters cubed. Okay, hopefully that's what you got. So now let's talk about a sphere itself. If you have the volume of a sphere right here, just this one, right? Your volume of a cylinder, and inside that cylinder you have a cone. Inside another cylinder you have a ball or a sphere. It's interesting that this equals 1/3. We know that. Okay, this one here equals 2/3. We know that because if we put them on a scale, these two would equal the same weight as this. And we're going to use that to calculate the formula to figure out the volume for that sphere. We know the surface area is 4 times pi r squared, but let's figure out what it is for volume. Okay, so this is going to be a very complicated explanation of how we come up with this, but the most important thing that you get out of all of this is this formula right here. 4/3 times pi r cubed. And that's what we're going to do to find the area of a sphere. Or the volume, not the area, the volume of a sphere. And the way they do that is we're going to just break it down a little bit here, to illustrate it to you. We know that the volume of the cylinder itself is pi r squared times the height. We know that. So now we're just going to replace the height with 2r, and the reason we do that because it's equal to the height of the cylinder. 2r is equal to the height of the cylinder, and then so we can take that. Once we do that, Then when we rearrange, we take it right here and we times those two together, we get 2 pi r cubed. And when we times that by our 2/3, we get our formula of 4/3 pi r cubed. And I know that's really pretty complicated, and I get that. Most important thing is that you're going to have to memorize that formula. But this is what explains how they come up with the formula. For those of you that need to have that in your head to be able to move forward, you have to be able to, how do they figure the volume of a sphere? How does that work? That's how it is. But this is the actual formula, 4/3 pi r cubed. So when you calculate that, let's look at this one here. We got a ball that's 20 centimeters diameter, and they want us to calculate the volume. So we're going to use our formula right here. So once we've got that, we're going to plug things in. We got 4/3 times pi times 10, and we know it. Why do we know that it's 10? Because that's the radius, right? The diameter is 20, so the radius is 10. So here we've got a cube. We've got to cube that. So now we've got 4/3 times 3.14 times 1,000, which is our radius cubed. We times 3.14 times the 1,000, and we get 3,140. We times that by 4 and divide by 3, and this becomes our answer. So on these problems, you're probably going to be provided with a calculator. I would hope so. If not, you're going to have to do it longhand, and you can do that. But you've got to do the steps, do each one of the steps. Write them down. Show your work. Keep showing your work. Practice that so you don't miss an important step. And then always remember that volume is cubed. Okay, that's it. Just remember those two formulas. What are they? For a cone, it's 1/3 times pi radius squared. And for a sphere, it's 4/3 times pi radius cubed. Here's your TIDs. Send them to me tonight. Write down your questions. We'll review this tomorrow, and then we'll all work on the written practice together in class. Thank you for watching the video.